Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the American Sports Connection. I'm your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. I'm here with my good buddy Ryan Ennis. Ryan, how's it going, man?
Chilling. I'm just finding out. Did you know you can book Impact Wrestling?
No.
You go to the website, you can actually make your next event an impactful one with the stars of Impact Wrestling. Can you imagine Vince doing that? You have to send an email with the name and a date of event, location of event, the venue, talent you want, contact number, and then your website. Can you imagine that? You enjoy yourself a birthday party and have like the world champion there, so long as you can afford it. Be like, here, I want fucking Moose here at my birthday. I don't want you to do anything. Just fucking come spend the day with me.
It reminds me of WWF at the time back in like '95.
Oh my god, you gotta be in such. Can you imagine being one of the talent and just finding out like, here, we're sending you to this place?
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of because in the town I live in, the high school in my town, they used to have WWF wrestling there back in like '95, I think it was, or '96.
That's so funny.
And they brought like all the name like people. Like the main event was like The Undertaker versus Adam Bomb in a casket match.
Oh jeez.
It's just it's funny because they had I think Shawn Michaels was the Intercontinental Champion then, or one of them, I can't remember. But they had like Scott Hall, Nash, and HBK all there.
That's funny.
It's crazy to think about now, all these years later. It just makes me believe, dude, that they're not going to get paid very much.
I kind of want to like see if I could just like see what the going rates are. See if I could book somebody to come shopping with me. Like, I really ain't got nothing to do. I just want to go shopping. How much? I just want somebody to carry my groceries for me.
I need companionship.
That's it. What's my event? Sitting in my house.
Playing Mortal Kombat with me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
That's funny. But speaking of that, did you see I guess it's the DLC characters are coming out soon.
Well, the first one's out already, and the second one's coming out next week. They do it over a period of probably about a year.
Oh, okay.
They just for the first time showed actual gameplay of Nightwolf yesterday.
I saw it. His fatality's brutal.
Yeah. The next one's going to be Sindel. Spawn is going to be the fourth one.
Yeah, and then there's two surprises.
Yeah, and people have batted around a bunch of names. Apparently somebody read the code files, and one of them is supposed to be Joker.
Oh, wow.
Which, it's cool, but Joker was already in Injustice, which was Injustice is basically Mortal Kombat with, superheroes. So I don't know how much different that's going to be, but it'll be interesting.
It just sounds like a ploy to try to get people to buy the game.
Oh yeah, me and my buddy, we went back to Grand Theft Auto for the first time in like 2 years because there's a new DLC update, a casino, and that's been kind of fun because I've already found ways to glitch to get things that I need. So, like, every week they're going to have, like, a new car, and every day you get to spin this wheel, and if you land on the spot for the car, you get $2 million car for free, basically, like, supercar. Figured out that if you log off before your spin finishes, like, if you know you're definitely not going to get the vehicle, and you quit out of the game, and you go back in, you get your one daily spin again, because it doesn't register that you've spun until you let it spin all the way out. So the first time, last week, I let it spin like 5 times, 6 times, I won the car. This time, on my first spin, I won the car. So I have $2.5 million cars.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's fun. We don't play with other people, though.
Oh, okay. But
it's just me and him.
No, that's fun. Well, before we get rolling for today, Excuse me. Don't forget to check out our social media stuff: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at ASC Pods. You can find our entire catalog on B Plus Player Radio. Check them out on Twitter at B Plus Radio. Also, check out their sponsors over at Audible. You get 30-day free trial. You can listen to ebooks, comedy stuff, podcasts, whatever you like. Go to audibletrial.com/B plus players. All right. It's kind of been not a very newsworthy week, I guess you would say.
Or even 2 weeks, because just with our crazy lives, we somehow missed each other last week. Like, I really, like, when you told me the next day, I was like, oh my god, how the fuck did we forget to record?
Real life got in the way.
Oh, bro, yeah. Fuck real life, bro. I want to go back to fantasy life.
Yeah, well, I guess we can start with this, because this is a sad thing that came out yesterday. Probably one of the toughest men, at least I've heard from everyone in pro wrestling. Harley Race passes away.
Yeah, Father Time kicks everybody's ass. He remains undefeated. Yeah, I didn't realize he was so old. But he's considerably old.
Man, the stories I've read, like I read Ric Flair's book, and he told all kind of like crazy stories about him.
Oh, I'm sure. That's the fucking king. That's the original king.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure there were kings before him, but that's... When you talk about wrestling kings, that's his name. Fuck Jerry Lawler.
Couldn't agree more with you, bro.
Harley didn't need his dad to run a company in order to go... Oh, no. That was Jarrett.
But I know what you mean. Because remember, Jerry Lawler sued the WWF over it.
Over the king name?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Wow.
In like 87?
Interesting.
It was when Harley Race became the king in the WWF. He sued over the moniker The King.
Huh.
I was like, Harley Race will settle this. Will just go kick your ass.
I wonder if that's why they came out with Macho King.
Maybe. Which was one of my favorites, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. Fuck yeah. Absolutely.
But
he's one of my favorite
Macho
heels. Oh my god.
What's the matter?
Now, I think this is Evilise. I don't know who she's in the ring with. Have you fucking seen this? She goes to throw like a fucking... I don't know what it's supposed to be. Spinning kick, and they're about 3 feet away from each other, and the chick takes the bump, and like nowhere even near.
Yeah. Like
you've seen this?
Like what Jinder Mahal did.
No, bro. I gotta send this to you right now. This is fucking awful. This just showed up on my fucking Facebook wall from WrestleBotch. I don't know if you've ever seen it. This is awful. That's the bit outside.
There's a really bad one I have to send you when we get off. It's of a heavyset guy trying to do a coast to coast, and he doesn't even come close.
Yeah, look how bad this is.
Yeah, give me a second, everyone. I'm looking at the video.
You and I can do this better.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
Bro, how bad? Like, she's literally 3 feet away. Like, she's like across the ring.
I love that they added the Bob Uecker thing.
Yeah, bro, I would let your kid throw a kick closer to my face than these two of them. Either that, or I'd let somebody who has like muscle spasms kick me closer than these two just connected. Like, what? Like, how bad is that? Like, that's definitely Evilise. I don't know who she's in the ring with.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely her.
But, yeah, that's bad. All right, so, yeah, we talked about this off air. WWE has signed, speaking of Lucha Underground talent, WWE has signed one. And I believe you said he's starting in September?
That's what I read, that he's going to be in the September class.
Yeah, King Cuerno, for those of you who are interested. And you told me another tidbit regarding his mask.
Yeah, apparently he's gonna wrestle without the mask.
It's not super surprising for WWE. Um, they, other than like Sin Cara and Kalisto and now Mysterio, like you would think with the big deal that they make about being the greatest mask of all time, that they would do more with masked wrestlers, but
That's what I was thinking because you would think they would want to find someone to, and I don't want to say be the next Rey Mysterio, but be the next masked wrestler that they can turn into a cash cow.
yeah, I mean, and it's like they have them in the Lucha House Party, but they just fucking like bury them so much that I just forgot about them.
Yeah, no one takes them seriously.
Yeah, no tag. I mean, no like title matches for any of them. Nothing. Not since they've become a group. They're just. I don't know. WWE is awful at doing comedy wrestling. Toro Yano's a perfect example of comedy wrestling done right. Do you know who Toro Yano is?
Yeah, the guy that beat John Moxley in the G1.
Yeah, and as silly as that was, that fits the gimmick. It's still like it doesn't make him look like a wuss because WWE only knows how to make guys like fucking Santino that are just silly and stupid and incapable of like all funny guys have to be job guys.
We didn't talk about this dude because last week real life happened, but my issue with like the Raw reunion or whatever you want to call it was
that it was terrible.
Well, besides that, was that you have your quote unquote, by what we've heard before, is considered your second biggest show of the year, SummerSlam. And when it was last week, I think it was 3 weeks away?
Yeah.
It's 3 weeks away, and you have this show, which is basically a throwaway show, and doesn't really build anything up to SummerSlam. I'm not saying don't do the show. I'm saying I just don't understand why they did it then.
Yeah. The networks. It didn't have anything to do with them. That apparently came from the network.
Okay. I just wondered because it was odd. I was like, why wouldn't you wait till, for example, I mentioned this to someone else. Why don't they have a show like that when Monday Night Football comes back? Because obviously a ton of people are going to turn on Monday Night Football.
Yeah. I just think that's when their contract expired.
Okay.
I don't think they arbitrarily picked a date. I think that's when the contract with USA ends and Fox starts, or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking out loud,
But yeah, apparently they had to have it there, and apparently they're also going to do something for, like, because we just passed, I think it's like the 20th anniversary of SmackDown. I think that was in April, and they were waiting to do the 20th anniversary, like one of the first weeks of SmackDown on Fox. So technically it's not the 20th anniversary. It's already passed.
Yeah, I remember because it's ironic how you remember these things. The first ever SmackDown show I remember watching because I had got all my wisdom teeth taken out earlier in the day.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I always remember.
Yeah, it really is funny how you remember things like that.
But I meant to ask you this earlier because I personally like what they're doing with it. But what do you think of how they're doing the Bray Wyatt thing, where they have him being like normal sometimes and then crazy another and.
I think it's perfect. I think it's the only way to continue, like, fleshing out a real character. Because what are you going to do with just the Fiend? You have the Fiend cutting promos?
Yeah,
I mean, it's that was people's problems with, like, Undertaker once he started talking, or Kane when he started talking. If Bray can be his own mouthpiece in a way, I think that's brilliant.
I personally loved it. I think they aired it on SmackDown this week. Correct me if I'm
Yes,
wrong.
yes,
The Firefly Funhouse.
yeah, because it wasn't on Raw.
Yeah, and where they just had the rabbit basically talk the entire time.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great. I thought it was absolutely. I thought it was well done. I look forward to Bray in 2 weeks. It's actually like a week after this coming Sunday, so it's 2 weeks or
Yeah, I
next
know what you
Sunday,
mean.
like 9 days from today.
I hope they let him start using the mandible claw now.
Uh, I'd be okay with it. I'd be okay with another kind of finisher. I don't want. My only hesitation with that is because he's not actually feuding with Foley. I don't want him to be looked at as a Mick Foley copycat. And if he's using the mandible claw, I think old fans who may tune in and go, "Oh, this is they're trying to do Mick Foley again."
No, I understand.
Um, I do think it needs to be something different than Sister Abigail, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm actually just really looking forward to seeing how he works in the ring.
I am too, because we've talked about this on this show before, where you can do all that shit, you know, spooky stuff, but at the end of the day, it's got to happen in the ring.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm curious if he's going to squash Finn, to be honest with you.
Um, I don't know. See, I would be so against that. I hate squash matches to begin with, especially when it's name talent. Like I don't think that does what it used to.
No,
Because
not to cut you off, I'm in
ahead.
agreement with you. Look at what it did to Dolph Ziggler with Kevin Owens at the last pay-per-view.
It's just forgettable. It didn't make Kevin Owens look any stronger. Um, I don't know. I don't want it to be like one-sided's one thing, but just like a fast squash match, like I don't think that helps anybody.
Yeah, maybe I used the wrong term where he should just get a decisive victory.
Yeah, yeah, but I just because I like how other companies use. I don't want to say bigger guys, but like use their bigger stars. You can have your bigger star have a competitive match, and then have like the last portion of the match be a squash. You know what I mean? Like, still have a good competitive match, but at one point, just like, okay, we're not wrestling anymore. It's over, and just go into a sequence that puts the guy over looking like a fucking beast.
No, I agree with you.
Because I don't think in the long term it helps anybody. Like, unless you're gonna have like a small guy come and squash fucking Brock Lesnar. But having a guy like, I don't know. I'm just against squashes.
No, I. What did you think of the segment where Brock destroyed Seth?
I think it was cathartic for a lot of fans. Like, I'm just over Brock and Seth. Like, just in general. Like, I got off the Seth train very quickly. I don't know. This is probably to build up Seth even more.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you, and I don't want to say I dislike Seth, but there's just something about his matches in the last, I'll say 6 months to a year. They're just kind of very like, eh.
He's had some. I mean, like, he had a shitty angle with Ambrose. Then he got stuck in the fucking Baron Corbin Cyclone.
Yeah.
And then he was stuck with Brock. And then he was injured right before SummerSlam. And right before Mania. Remember? And they weren't having him wrestle because his back was all fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just, again, I think he's been booked really badly. I think he's been in the ring, like, his match with Brock was barely a match. It was him getting his ass kicked and then he wins. He can't really wrestle well with fucking Baron Corbin.
No,
Like,
but what's interesting, I don't know if you saw this stat. He's had the most matches this year in WWE.
yeah, see, that's the problem. And they always push him the same way. He says the same shit every time. He says the same shiny, white meat baby face shit every time. Like, I liked Seth when he was still like kind of like an anti-heel. I mean, like in not anti-heel. What the fuck am I saying?
Anti-hero, where he had a little
There you go.
edge to him.
Yeah, now he's just like John Cena. Come on, name of the town we're in. You know, isn't that what you guys want? Name of the town we're in.
Yeah, insert name here.
Like right here tonight in where we are right now. I mean, and the thing is, you can hear his ha 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 voice saying all of it.
Yeah, I hate to sound like a dick, but his voice gets on my nerves at times.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, very nasally.
Mm-hmm.
I know he tried to get it corrected because he had some kind of surgery for it, but
That and off the Becky Lynch train, and I effectively don't care about anybody else in the in the women's division because they didn't push anybody else. They had all of this time. Although the only thing I do like, and this is only because I think that when Vince wanted to end it, things got fucked up, is I do like this fucking Nikki and Bailey. I mean, and Alexa shit. I was
really.
not. I do because at least they've continued it. It's grown. It went from Nikki being kind of shy, baby faced, naive to it's actually grown. It's moved. I think I have no interest in the storyline with fucking Bailey over the belt and none of that. I like Alexa and I like Nikki because I was against the idea of bringing Nikki Cross up the way she was and all of a sudden having her palling around with Alexa. But it's beginning to make sense.
No, I know what you're saying, where it's a continuity thing.
Yeah, and it's like they've evolved her character because she was never able to have a normal conversation on NXT.
No.
So I do kind of like, and it's a huge credit to her being able to play that she's still the crazy chick, but not like the insane, crazy, like animalistic person she was in NXT.
I was going to say how she was portrayed in NXT.
Which originally I was like, "What are you doing?" Like, because I love those characters. They don't fit the typical female stereotype for a character. Like Sue Young or Rosemary, they're not focused on being pretty.
Absolutely.
I mean, and she happens to be a good-looking lady, but like, she's just playing a crazy lunatic. Like, and I think that there is more room for that instead of just being like the typical female trope, which is what I would put like Alexa Bliss in.
Yeah.
The spoiled brat, like that you would, a stereotypical woman thing. Like, expand that role. Give people crazy roles. Give people psychological roles.
Well, it's funny you mentioned like psychological roles. We were talking about it off air, like the stuff they showed with Roman on SmackDown.
Yeah, I was actually very surprised by how well he sold when he was with the paramedics. Like that, some people are like, oh, he tried to be a tough guy and walk away. No, I got it more like his life flash before his eyes, and he's in just one of those, like, he's in mild shock. Like, just leave me alone. Like, let me process what the fuck just happened. Like, he played that off very well.
Yeah, because that's like if you have a near-death experience, that's how you would react.
Yeah, that would be a realistic expectation for a reaction, and his facial expression, everything. Like, he actually pulled that off well. So, and I told you this off air. My only hang-up with that whole thing wasn't even Kayla screaming. It was that fucking GoPro that happened to be on the back of the lighting truss that also just happened to be connected to the main feed for Kevin Dunn to switch to. Like, that's just, like, when you give it any thought whatsoever, that's where I have a problem with it. Because that's not even continuity stuff. That's just expecting us to be stupid. Like, they could have done that whole thing without that camera there, and I would have been fine with it.
Yeah, well, because how do I want to say this? If you go to a feed for a camera that has never ever been seen before, obviously somebody's going to think something's up.
Yeah, and the fact that it's on a lighting truss that happens to fall. Like, do you have GoPros on every single lighting truss? Is every single GoPro connected to the camera? I mean, like, to the live feed? Like, can you give an explanation as to why Kevin Dunn decided to switch to that camera just as it was falling? Like, that's where, to me, that's a big error. There's people like, oh, well, you complain about small things. To me, that's a big fucking thing.
No, I agree with you.
Now, your talent may not realize cameramen standing right in front of them sometimes when angles are playing out, but, like, your fans realize, like, we are that fourth wall. Like, we don't have to pretend it's not there.
Well, to be honest with you, I personally hate when they do that. Where in the backstage area, they'll have people talking, and it's like they're having a normal conversation, and they don't know the camera's there. I hate that.
Or like the fucking Mandy Rose and one of the Usos in the hotel room. Like, you don't see a fucking cameraman in the hotel room with you.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Like, I know how how they're trying to portray it like a real TV show, but it's not, and we all know that it's not. You know, it's because you want it to be presented as real, not as a TV show. So we're not taking it as acting. Like, we know that there's a cameraman there.
Definitely. Now, have you been watching The Road to All Out?
Yes, that's the one that had the one where Tully came in and ended the interview.
Yeah,
and then the most recent,
the newest one I think came out yesterday
with the contract signing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm really intrigued because Tully with Sean Spears could be very interesting.
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be very good. Next week they're going to discuss the women's title, and I sent you the image that they put out.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, from what you can see, it's blurred, but you can see the plates and stuff are there. AEW is going to have a women's belt that looks vastly different than the men's belt, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
While still having an old school feel to it. Like, I think that's a very old school design. I look forward to it. You guys can check it out. It's basically all over the internet now. Oops, I dropped the flashlight. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to All Out. But that's another, 4 weeks away.
Yeah, it's September 1st, right?
I think it's August 31st, isn't it?
Okay.
Trying to think of any other major AEW news before we get to Chris Jericho promising 2 big surprises as his tag team partners. Did you hear that?
Yes, I wonder who they are.
Let the fucking CM Punk returning conversations begin.
You know who I initially thought when I heard 2 people and you're going to laugh?
The Revival?
No, because their contracts aren't done then.
Who?
Enzo and Cass.
I don't know how well that would go over.
That's what I said. That was my first thought, and then I was like, oh, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Speaking of which, did you watch the interview of Big Cass that I sent you?
No. I never got around to it.
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm not in the head right now to go listen to other people talk about their problems.
I understand.
Um,
And I was gonna say, like Rob.
that's good. I mean, he's a big enough name in the industry. Like, like he's definitely built his name up. So
I mean, I'm not trying to sound rude when I say that. I've just never heard him really interview someone.
yeah, no, me neither. I know him from new stuff, but no, it's good that he nailed it.
Yeah. The other thing was I can't remember who the hell he's supposed to wrestle, but they announced it. Cody's gonna wrestle on the first TNT episode.
In the first match versus, is it Sammy Guevara?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the first match of the first show.
Oh wow.
And that's where they're also going to crown the first women's champion.
And then they're having that 6-man, right?
Yeah, was it Kenny and the Bucks versus Jericho and two unnamed guys?
Yes.
Two surprise tag team partners.
Yeah, man, you're gonna hear everyone and their brother between now and then.
Watch it be Rusev.
That could happen.
That could happen. That very well could happen because I think his contract's up very soon.
That's why you haven't seen him on television. But like I said, you'll probably hear everyone under the sun rumored to be the two people.
Yeah, no, my buddy had said he heard Rusev, so, but again, a lot of time he'll ask me, like, I heard this, is this true? And I'm like, no. Because it's like, I could definitely tell, because he's in a couple wrestling Facebook groups. So it's like, sometimes it's like something completely outlandish. I have no idea how many times he's told me that people are posting like the CM Punk things. I'm just like, no. Well, don't worry about it, bro.
I've learned what's garbage and what isn't.
Did you hear that the company formerly known as What Culture Pro Wrestling, now Defiant, shut down?
No.
Yeah, they apparently shut down yesterday.
Well, that's unfortunate.
They had big names over there too. They had actually grown into side of a kind of like a cult, like favorite. But I think it was just on such a small scale, because they didn't have like a dedicated roster, so they'd have to pay all these guys to come in and do all these shows. But they had like McIntyre was, I believe, their champion for a while before he came back to WWE. Like, it started out run by the guys from What Culture who ended up going to Cultaholic.
Oh, okay.
Like, they were like the GMs and everything, and it was so fucking over. Like, I can't, like, that would have been like our friend that we met through having the money to run his own promotion, and him and his co-host were like part of the show, but instead of being drug-addled morons, like, people liked them. But yeah, I guess that's what happens when you live in such a small country. You can do shit like that.
Yeah, and there's so much good wrestling over there.
Oh, absolutely.
It's probably hard to keep up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. There's a lot going on, and especially when you're seeing the same guys in all this, all the different promotions. Plus, WWE is basically signing up everybody.
Yeah, that's why Progress is kind of going through like a change, or I don't know what you want to call it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they can't build up their talent pool fast enough. Because the talent will always be there. A good company can always sustain so long as they have time to build people. But if you start having somebody come in, start beating everybody, and then leave, now everybody took losses, and nobody can really grow on from that, even if it's just to your own fans. And if you bring in a big name, they're not going to want to do the job.
Oh, hell no. Especially, if memory serves me right, they tape all their shows, so no one's going to want to lose on tape, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or without some kind of long-term commitment, that they're going to either get their comeuppance, or that it is their comeuppance after a, long, probably costly angle to run. Yeah, it's just unfortunate with WWE going out and kind of vacuuming everything up.
Did you read the rumors that the next place, supposedly, this is rumored, they want to put a performance center is in Canada?
I've heard Canada, I've heard Saudi Arabia, I've heard Germany. That's apparently why Walter was signed.
That doesn't shock me because he, if memory serves me right, he either owns WXW or has like, co-ownership or some kind of ownership with WXW.
Yeah, that I remember. Um, yeah, it's just unfortunate that they're not being used right. I mean, maybe they are for the UK guys, but I don't know how popular the WWE UK is even in the UK. It could be, but it may not be.
I'd have to ask Dean because, to be honest with you, I very rarely ever watch it.
And it's unfortunate because it's some of the best wrestling that's on. It's just like going back and watching weeks of shows is so hard when I could just watch something and catch up. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like that. Then you miss all the really good stuff.
It's hard for me to watch a show after I know it's like already been live. For some reason, that's hard for me.
I'm not different. I'm not different at all. I kind of know what you're saying. I kind of get that way.
Cause like I'm like, well, I already know
As
what
if it's
happened, or like I
yeah,
could just fast forward. Or
exactly, exactly. I've been trying. I've been trying to sit through like because that's stopping me from really enjoying 205 Live. And I sat there and I watched last week, Jack Gallagher versus Chad Gable. Bro, it was like a 5.5-star match. It was such a good match. If you haven't, like, I may be a little biased because I like both of them, and I didn't expect that. I think I'm adding a couple tiny points for it being so surprisingly good for being on 205 Live.
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing. Like, why do I sit through Raw and fast forward past this shit?
Bro, have you gone on the network since they redid it?
Oh yeah, I was actually on it in the morning. And then it told me to re-enter my password. I was like, what the fuck is WWE Netflix? I love it, though. I love this. I think this is so convenient.
It took me a minute because, like you got to get familiarized with it because everything was like so weird, like trying to find things.
Oh, bro, this is exactly the layout that I've hoped for. This was, bro, I seen this, and it was just like, I got the years, I got the pay-per-views right in front of me, and then I can pick what match I want to watch on the card. That was exactly the way I would have fucking set up the site.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. It's just, I guess I had a few little hiccups getting used to it at first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was like a huge change.
Yeah, no, I think this is easier to navigate because you see everything right in front of you. Now, this is like my dream UI for this site. Compare this to fucking New Japan's.
Really?
Dude, oh, bro, New Japan is as like 1999 as you can get. And I mean like the year, not the price.
No, I got you. Now, I wanted to talk about the G1 really quick. Do you think it's going to end up at some point maybe being Moxley and Okada at the end?
I don't know enough about New Japan to have any idea how they usually book these. I guess because Moxley's first loss coming to Toru Yano. While I'm cool with it, that genuinely surprised me that his first loss was a comedy loss. So, it could be. I don't know. I know they're playing a lot on the drama now that Naito can be eliminated if he loses one, but Moxley has to lose his next 3. So it's like I haven't been watching enough of it to know what they're driving or to know what the scores are. But yeah, I mean, it's possible. I don't know if they'd want to hold that off for a bigger card, but the G1, is that going to be in the States?
I don't know.
So I think if that's in the States, that's a big match to have if the final is in the States, because I think the final was last year in the States.
Yeah, I'm not really sure because the other thing I wanted to mention is I don't know. The other reason I thought they might do it so soon is because of Moxley's deal
What about his deal?
with AEW. He might have to be exclusive once they start going on TNT.
I don't know about that, though. I thought his deal was completely okay so long as he's not on American television.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, so long as it's not on American soil. I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought he was allowed to work New Japan in Japan.
Yeah, I'm not really sure on that one.
Let me see when the final for the G1 is and where it is. I don't even know what if. Yeah, I don't know where. It's a long ass list. I don't want to just see it there. I'm like, what the fuck? It just keeps scrolling. It just keeps going lower and lower and lower. The final is in Tokyo, so okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, as of now, Okada's apparently undefeated. See, that's interesting. Maybe Okada wins. Because he's already the heavyweight champion. What happens if the heavyweight champion gets the title shot at Wrestle Kingdom? That may be the story that they're going for here.
Be interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of people in striking range in the A block. Cause it's weird of how, because in B block with Moxley has 10, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys that are all at 6 points.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then you got Okada with 12, and 3 guys with 8: Kenta, Kota Ibushi, and Tanahashi.
I'm glad to see Kenta back out there doing his thing.
Yeah, me too. And apparently been doing it well.
When I talked to him in June, I think it was, he was here, and I asked him what he was up. You know, would we see him soon, or what his plans were, and he just smiled and wouldn't say anything.
Well, I'm glad he's doing well for himself. I mean, he definitely needed some kind of like resurgence because he's got stuck in fucking WWE hell.
Definitely. Oh, I wanted to bring this up. I know you don't really follow them, but Major League Wrestling put out. Apparently, they are going to be starting a partnership with Pro Wrestling Noah.
Oh, interesting.
I tend to watch their shows not all the way through a lot of times, I'll be honest, but their weekly show you can watch on YouTube. So
Yeah.
I'll kind of like skim through it and watch what I like and flip what I don't.
Yeah, see, here's the upcoming fights. Okada goes against Sonata, while Moxley goes against Jay White. So, I don't see Jay White beating Moxley.
No.
Okada versus Evil, I definitely see Okada. I don't know about Sonata, but and then Moxley versus Goto. I don't know if I see Goto beating Moxley. So I don't know. I mean, and then the final one is Moxley and Robinson.
Interesting.
and then Okada versus Kota Ibushi.
Ooh.
And so I mean, like, it could be them. I mean, I don't know what the other permutations are. I don't know who has a legitimate shot. So
No,
yeah,
I was just putting it out there.
I'll probably start getting more into it now that there's less matches, and now that like all of these matches, like a lot of them are gonna be make or break.
I know what you mean where it's like it's coming down to the end.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of matches to watch.
Oh yeah. To have to sit through over like a month and a half. Yeah. Have you seen who's been at the Performance Center as some of the guest trainers?
I know Pat Buck was one.
They have one up there for Danny Cage.
Interesting.
Um, let's see, Chris Sabin,
I saw Chris Sabin because he posted a photo about it.
Gangrel.
Gangrel is one of the coolest dudes I've ever met.
Yeah, he's apparently had his fucking fangs removed because he's talking and he was talking just fine. They had fucking Mikey from the Spirit Squad.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, they're bringing in a bunch of people here.
I don't know if he still does it regularly. He did at one point, but Mike Quackenbush was working down there.
I really like the fact that they bring in different kinds of trainers that train completely differently.
I do too. It's, different styles, and it's not the quote unquote WWE style per se.
Yeah.
Especially Mike Quackenbush.
Yeah, that's not really WWE.
Because, that Shakara stuff, that's not them by a long shot.
No, I think it's important though that unless you're going to try to make carbon copies of one character, you actually spread it out and you try to give people diversity and be different.
Oh,
And,
I couldn't agree more.
yeah, and learn different methods. So, I mean, like, I think Pat's doing great. I mean, like, I think he has a big hand in MJF, and he's widely regarded as one of the best heels in the business today. And he's a kid.
Yeah, he's 24, I think.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's a baby, and I mean that in the most utmost respect.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's so young, which means he has such a future ahead of him.
He lives the gimmick.
I charged $150 for a meet and greet.
It's a funny story. Every time I would see him, because I saw him at that convention last summer in Atlantic City, and he would always mess with me. When he would see me, hey, fat boy, what are you doing here?
That's funny.
And just try to piss me off, and I said, whatever.
That's funny.
Yeah, he's probably one of, if not the best heels in the game right now.
Oh yeah, I fully agree.
I mean, he's a world champion in training. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think he's fantastic at what he does. There's no off switch. He's unapologetically asshole, and I love that.
You know who? And I've really tried to like him, and he just really doesn't do it for me. Is Adam Page?
Yeah, me neither. Not at all.
Like, nothing against him because he's like supremely talented in the ring. There's just, I don't know. There's just like an off switch for me with him.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that.
That's why I'm kind of hoping they let Jericho be their first champion.
Wait. Oh, Adam Page. Yeah, I'm on the fence with him. For some reason, I thought you were talking about Ethan Page.
Oh yeah, no, he's okay. I'm sorry, I should have said Hangman Page.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm not off his train, but I'm definitely not on his train.
No,
But
I don't.
yeah, I think it'd be better for Jericho to be their first champion.
More so for publicity reasons, and I'm always in the school of thought that you should have a heel champion.
Yeah, I don't
Like, I
disagree with
think
that.
it's better to have like the good guy chasing the bad guy for the title.
Yeah, I think there's more money in that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm very like that. Kind of reminds me with Seth. Like, I thought he was better chasing Brock than actually beating him.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
Because when he was champ, it was very like blah. Well, then again, he's just been blah.
Yeah, he's just got very generic very quickly.
We're number 2.
It's just, yeah, I mean, and again, like, you could kind of also fault the fans for it because the fans are so fucking fickle.
Yep.
I mean, they haven't made him full Cena. Granted, they've made him kind of corny, but it's just like, he got cheered when he got his ass kicked.
Yeah, they said one more time.
Yep.
I mean, WWE basically gave the fans everything they wanted. Seth is champ, Kofi is champ, Becky is champ, and they're not happy.
Because they've booked them all awfully since giving them the belt. You know, it's one thing to give somebody the belt, but then you don't book them right at all. Because I don't think any of them have really been booked well since Mania.
I agree with you. The worst I would say probably is Becky.
Yeah, they put her in a fucking feud with somebody who does not really know how to wrestle. And then got her personal like relationship into it. Like, not everything needs to be about their fucking dating.
Exactly. Let them, have what little privacy they do have.
Yeah, no, I'm all for that, bro. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. We got another week till SummerSlam. I fully expect somehow Goldberg to get involved.
Yeah,
I truly do.
He's rumored to wrestle Ziggler, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't want to see Bill Goldberg anymore. I'm sorry.
No, I fully agree.
I mean, I'll take it one step further. I don't want to see Trish Stratus.
Yeah, I understand that they're in Toronto.
Oh, no, I get why. It's just, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more okay with her. Because I expect them to still have an okay match.
Yeah. They just have to cut down on these, 14 match cards.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
That's too much.
Yep, especially when, you're gonna, the ones in the beginning are gonna run late, so you're gonna have one quick job, like Mysterio and fucking Joe at Mania.
Oh, God, yeah. It's just that you can't keep having, 7-hour pay-per-views.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Yeah, it's not fair to people. It really isn't.
I wondered if they were going to make WrestleMania, this is my opinion what they should do. I don't think they'll ever do it, but they should have maybe a day 1 and a day 2.
Yeah, I'm not completely against that.
You know what I mean? So everyone can kind of get on the show.
Yeah.
And it's not a Kevin Owens stunner to Dolph Ziggler in 10-second match for everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree.
But before we get out of here, man, what are you up to this weekend?
Oh man, I don't even know.
Video games?
Yeah, something to prevent me from going crazy.
I think I'm. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take it easy this weekend. I might watch the Impact thing you told me about.
Tonight, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
So yeah, yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do yet. I'm actually looking into. I know one thing my wife is into is like this craft kind of thing, and apparently people use PVC pipe to make all of these like crafting bases for people to purchase, and
Yes.
for literally a couple of dollars, bro.
Oh
I'm
yeah, I know what you're
talking
talking about.
you. You know what the cry cup machines are?
Yes.
Well, yeah, like these are like stencil holders and stuff like all of this stuff made out of PVC pipe that I can make for $1, $2. They're selling them for 20, 25, 30, $35.
Nice.
So I want to see how many of these I could probably put together this weekend. So I just got to take some measurements off of my phone.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it'll give me something to do. It'll give me something to take my mind off the fact that my life's falling apart. So.
Well, there you go. But on that note, we're going to get out of here for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, give it a thumbs up, all that stuff, and we'll see you back next week. Have a good day, everybody.